everyone, my name is Amit Chaudhary and welcome to the new Unitron CSS solution install. I really apologize for the high background noise in the lab. In this section I'm just going to quickly go through the product itself, the equipment used, how to adjust the amplifier gain, and talk a little bit about the SCR port. So we have 4 lines coming straight from the roof from the L&B. And as you can see, I have used 4 inline amps because the cable run is longer than 150 feet. You can calculate that if we need the inline amp or not using our calculator, the spreadsheet tool. We're going to talk in details about that during the training session. So let's talk about the equipment that's involved in the solution. So this is the polarity locker. This is the amplifier, and this is the switch itself. It's 9743SH, has 4 cascade inputs and output port and the SCR ports. In my setup, I have used 4 switches in cascade, and I have used only 1 power supply to power the first switch, and it's going to supply power to all 4 switches and the amplifier. The polarity locker has its own power supply. Okay, so the polarity locker controls the signal and drives the L&B. It's a must for this solution. As you can see, there are toggle switches, and using these toggle switches and a little stick, you can control the output signal. Right now, it's configured for 13V, 18V, 13 plus, and 18 plus. So this is the Unitron amplifier. So 4 inputs coming from the polarity locker and 4 inputs going out of the amplifier, and it's hooked up to the first CSS switch. As you can see, we have gain adjuster knobs over here. After this, I will show you how to adjust the gain of the amplifier leg to achieve the input level that we're looking for, and this is clearly stated in the manual. So in order to adjust the gain from the amplifier legs, I will measure the power from the output ports of the first CSS switch. I'm going to use a satellite meter that I have it on hand. It's an AI Turbo S2, and we will also need a 20 dB pad and a DC blocker. Before we disconnect the cable to measure the power, one very important thing to mention over here, that we need to shut off the power, otherwise it might fry one of the devices over here. So I have turned off the main power supply, so no power is going into the system right now. So as you can see, I have installed a DC block at the one end of the satellite meter, and the other end I'm going to use the 20 dB pad. So I'm just putting it on the first port where I measure the power from. And this is the cable coming from the satellite meter. I'm just gonna hook it up with the 20 dB pad. Should be hand tight. Okay. After this, so once everything is securely connected, I'm just going to turn on the power supply. So now we're going to adjust the gain on the amplifier and set the input level on port 1. In order to do that, we have to use a flathead screwdriver over here and dial the knob. Let's tune to transponder X3 on G1. Before doing that, I'm just gonna hit the soft key button to turn on the L&B. And tune to transponder X3. There you go. So right now it's set to minus 23.5 dBm with a 20 dB pad. So we're gonna dial it down to get minus 32 dBm. So let's do that. This should be good enough. I have now moved over to port 2 in the first CSS switch output port. Now we're going to adjust the amplifier gain to set the input level on port 2. As you can see from the manual, we have to tune to transponder X11 on G1. The level is now minus 24. So we're going to try to achieve a minus 30, which is minus 10 dBm, which is 2 dB higher than port 1 and port 4. So let's start. Power level dropping. Yep, this should be good enough. I have now moved over to port 3. So we're gonna try to achieve minus 30 dBm level. Port 3 is 13 plus 22 kilohertz, which looks at the F2 satellite. So I'm gonna press the soft key and get LNB2 22 kilohertz, which looks at F2 in my satellite meter, and we'll go to transponder 5 as per the manual. So the level is now minus 23, and we will dial it down to minus 30. This is port 3, as you can see. Oh, a little bit forward. Yeah, this should be good enough. So then we move to port 4 on transponder 20 on F2 and adjust the gain accordingly to achieve the input level of minus 32 dB, which is essentially minus 12 dBm without the 20 dB pad. Adjusted the input level such that on port 1 we have minus 12 dBm, on port 2 we have minus 10, port 3 we have minus 10, and port 4 we have minus 12 dBm. So we are done adjusting the input levels, and this should be good for a 4-switch cascade setup. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, you can ask myself or Luke during the training session, or can send us an email.